Hello and welcome to Three Sisters, One Heart podcast. I'm Shannon.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Tiffany.
And today we are talking about flus and colds and how we deal with sickness. And I think this kind of was spurred on by the whole coronavirus freak out too.
Yeah.
And just kind of like how we stay healthy and what we do.
Yeah. Our tips and tricks.
Actually is kind of cool because it's very different for all of us. It's probably one of the main topics that we live very differently, and we'll dive more into it, but I am certainly more on the medical side, whereas you're more homeopathic, holistic, things along those lines. So yeah, but first, trials for the week.
All right.
Who's going first?
You can go first. You don't ever go first.
I really don't. I just realized that. I don't really have a whole lot this week, actually. I'll talk more about it later, but I am leaving the position that I'm in, so I've been trying to train somebody this week, so it's been a little bit of a rough week. It's hard. I didn't realize how exhausting it is just to talk all day. Like nothing that I'm doing is any more strenuous. I'm training somebody, and I work in invoicing. In the staffing industry, but I'm training somebody and they've got me on the shortest deadline I've ever been before. So I'm like, I'm already slowed down because I'm training somebody. This was already an impossible feat before, and now we're just gonna make it worse. But that's cool. So it's been a long week. I ended up having to work yesterday, which was Saturday, and I don't often have to do that anymore. So I'm just kind of cranky about just...
Make sure weekend's short.
Yeah.
Like, the weekend is already short. Some weekends more than others, so I can understand that.
Yeah. I mean, in the scheme of things, I mean, it's certainly a first world problem.
Right,
It's not anything huge, but so I'm grateful that's the biggest issue that I've got this week.
Thank goodness. Some weekends, that's like a small blessing.
Yeah.
Or some weeks, I mean.
What about you, Heather?
So we always talk about how we want to be transparent in our podcast. And just very real with y'all and what's going on and everything. So my trial's kind of a big one, and it might be a trigger warning.
Yeah.
Just to put that out there for anybody. My husband and I were expecting a baby, and we were absolutely thrilled. And I found out that we had miscarried at 6 weeks, about 6.5 weeks. And that kind of put a really big hit on me mentally, and like really big hit. And I know it's a topic that a lot of people keep hush hush and don't talk about.
Or not much, anyways.
Yeah.
They do, and so then whenever people like you're going through it, it feels not that it's not big, but it feels like it's
you
like
feel
the
more
end
alone.
of the world.
Yes.
Because you feel like, what did I do? What went
How could
wrong? What could I have changed?
Yes.
When really you can't.
And then the doctor's the first thing that stresses you is that it's absolutely not your fault. But as a woman, you can't help but feel like, well, I couldn't protect my baby.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest thing for me to get through my head. And still something I'm struggling with, because I feel like I know it's a genetic thing, especially that early on.
Yeah.
Just something wasn't right, and it's just nature's way of putting it. But it still sucks.
Well,
And that baby was so wanted, and everyone was so excited for it.
Everyone was excited. I know. It's very much, though, like when we talked about grieving and loss, that people, I know, like, it depends on the person. Like, some people are just like, oh, it's fine, keep trying. And, like, you want to think and be positive and be like, oh, sure, we'll keep trying. But, like, you still, no matter what stage you're at, if you have a miscarriage or you have a loss in that way, you're still going through those different phases of grieving.
Yes, and it sucks because, like, if you physically lose, like, a friend or somebody, you have that being to say, I didn't get that chance.
Yeah.
All I had was a picture where you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And that was hard. I couldn't physically say goodbye. And my body didn't want to listen.
Yeah.
And I had to basically induce it to pass everything.
I'm not an expert on the situation by any means, but I think a spontaneous miscarriage is hard enough, but like knowing like it's there.
Knowing it's
but
there for
that's-
2 weeks and my body still hasn't done what it's supposed to.
Yeah,
Yes. That's hard.
that's a whole different level.
Yeah, it had been
torture.
2 weeks. I had already miscarried when I went to my 8 to an 8-week ultrasound, and there was no heartbeat. And the baby was only measuring about 6.5 weeks. So this sucks because that's 2 extra weeks of the excitement of, oh, well, whenever we have the baby, we're going to do this, and we're buying extra stuff. And I realized, yes, that's very early to buy stuff, but everyone was so excited.
I haven't had a baby for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
We're
say the
all
baby of
super
the family
hyped.
is 6 years old.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, and everyone was super thrilled, and it just sucks. And it was my husband's first,
Mm-hmm.
and he's taken it pretty
He
hard
was
too.
so excited
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone says, "Oh well, at least it was early." I understand that, but I wanted that baby, and you can try again. Yeah, but I wanted that baby. Not.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we were gonna try again, but it sucks because I wanted the baby. I wanted my October baby, and I
I
was
know.
just thrilled to have my little Halloween baby, and now I don't know when it'll happen.
I know. I think
And
I
it's-
think people saying those things, they truly do mean well.
They just don't know
Yes,
what to say.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can say. Again,
No.
just like our grieving episode. There's not much that you can say. You just be there for that person.
Yeah.
But I know it's hard to like even think that like to think, how do I get past today, let alone think about trying again. What if this happens again?
That is honestly what I'm terrified of. Is this has never happened before? Well, what if it happens again? How am I going to handle another one right after one? Like
Mm-hmm. And there are people.
that happens
I do
back
go
to
through
back,
those
and
things.
then you finally get that baby, and it's amazing. But then I've got to go through heartbreak again, and I'm terrified of it because it's very much taken a toll on my mentality.
I think it's still very new and raw, though. I
Oh
think
yeah, for sure.
you shouldn't. I mean, of course, you should take that time and grieve and feel how you are, but don't let it alter the way that you see how you're going to feel in the future, because it's not always going to feel this strong. I mean, you're going to
Yeah.
have those feelings. You're still always going to have wanted that. That's not. It's not. It's always going to be there, but it's not. That rawness is going to gloss over or
Smooth.
smooth over.
Yeah.
Be less raw,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of
time,
better
with
words.
time.
It just sucks because I posted in a mommy group. I was like, how do I get over this? And everyone's like, well, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you just get over. It's something that you're going to think about years to come. Well, what would that baby have been?
Mm-hmm.
Where would they be right now? What would they be doing? How could they be changing the world if they could? Like, and that shit sucks. Like, I don't want to have this awesome. I will. And I know that when our cruise comes along, I'm thinking, well, I should be finding out what the baby is by now, and I won't. And
Yeah.
the way to get over a miscarriage, everybody's saying, oh, well, give baby a name, give baby the... What am I supposed to give a name? I've got nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how you would start.
Mm-mm.
I don't either. I personally have never been through it. I've had times where I thought I thought that I was going to be pregnant maybe and just knew I was, but then I had like a heavy period, but nothing that was like
100% for sure.
yes, nothing that even progressed enough that I thought, oh no, like
Yeah.
that was. But
And
I had many friends that have had not more than just one miscarriage, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, you know,
It
they're
is something that's
super strong. They've had more
extremely common.
miscarriages or something, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But
is
it's so not
common.
talked about.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's really not talked about because it's,
And granted, I get it. It's death, and nobody wants to talk about death. But it kind of is a subject that needs to be just real. Just this happens, and genetics suck sometimes.
Mhm.
Hormones suck sometimes.
Hormones suck all the time.
Yeah, hormones are always. We were all just talking about hormones being a mess.
So right now we're just trying to get over it, and
I think you just take it day by day.
Yeah, me
the
too.
doctor very
you
much
can't do-
encouraged me to try again.
Yeah.
And I asked, of course, the first question anybody asks after a miscarriage, she says, when can you try again? She said, as soon as we're ready, we don't have to wait for another cycle, we can try again.
Wow.
I've chosen to at least wait one cycle.
That
Yeah.
surprises
Because
me.
I
Yeah,
want
me too.
a refresh.
Yeah.
I want, okay, this majority of our listeners or viewers
Or women.
are women. So I want my uterus lining to be fresh and ready and just know that it's good timing.
Yeah, I understand
But
Very
she made,
welcoming
yes,
environment.
very nice
Warm and
environment.
squishy.
She made the point of people have Irish twins all the time. And basically that is someone getting pregnant before that 6-week mark of when you're supposed to have sex again.
Yeah.
And she goes, and they go on to have perfectly healthy, normal pregnancies. She was, when you're ready, go for it. I was like, I think I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
at least once,
get
just to help my
I think
mentality.
I think
Yeah,
that
I
more on
get
a
that.
mental than a physical
Yeah.
note, that I think it's smart to just
Which
chill for a little
sucks
bit.
because then we're coming real close to that borderline of him not being home anymore
That's right, you got us.
because he's got a big deployment
I mean,
coming
I
up
want him to
next
be there,
year.
but like,
and this,
at the same
like I said,
time,
this
like, don't-
October baby would have been perfect.
But don't like let that make you feel like second guess your thought of still wanting to
Yeah.
try or wanting one. Like, I remember this with Jackie because her husband had a vasectomy. They married. They each had children from previous marriage, and she thought, that's it. I'm never having kids. But she yearned for a baby. They had a vasectomy reversal, and she had another baby. And she thought, I'm in my 30s. There are 100 reasons I shouldn't have a baby, but there's no good time to have a baby. There's
No.
not. You're never ready enough, you guys. You're never ready enough. There's always something else that could come or could happen.
You're always gonna wait for that promotion or
Yes.
that better season or
When
until
you
I
have
can
time
afford that
off.
better car.
Yeah. So don't let that stop you.
Or just go and figure it out.
This
Yes.
baby actually, because I was pregnant, my husband actually put into Realist already, put through his paperwork and everything. He was like, well, I guess I'm staying in. I thought that was the plan all along.
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
mean now you
no.
guess?
Well,
But
it just
he's
was more
staying-
solid plan.
Yes, he's like, well, we're going to try again. So yeah, I'm staying in regardless. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought that was the plan beforehand. Okay.
Now,
But
Well,
mind
he's
if
going
we-
through it on his own, in his own terms too. So he's probably got a lot going on in his head.
yeah, because I've never had a miscarriage before, granted I've only had
Yeah.
2 pregnancies, he very much is in a position where he thinks it's his fault.
oh no. Yeah.
It's just not a fault.
It's
not.
not anyone's fault.
Now,
It's just
if you do you mind me talking about that a little bit? The thoughts of just as why?
Yeah.
Okay, so
we're
you were on
transparent,
birth
open.
control,
Yeah, I was on birth control for 6 years.
and it was the
It was the implant in my arm, which I was on it for 3 years too long. But it still worked, so
right,
I was still using it.
right.
I used
Still was
backup.
working.
I
That
used
broke, don't
backup
fix
as
it.
well, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, eventually we want to try. And so I had it removed, and within 2 months I got pregnant.
Which is very fast.
I had
was-
a very light 4-day spotting, didn't really need any products to help with,
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I guess that was my period, and got pregnant after that. A lot of that probably had to do with the fact that my body wasn't quite ready
Yeah.
to,
But that to
carry
me
that.
shows that you
my body wants that.
your
It's just,
body
I
is
needed to give it more
capable.
time.
It
Oh,
just
yeah.
needs a little more adjusting. 2 months after is very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's Bobby's words were, well, at least we know I can get you pregnant.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. It's true, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd have a problem with that, to be honest.
Look at our
We're
family.
pretty fertile. But fortunately, we're pretty fertile. But I think that that's a big deal, too. Because I know people that go on all different kinds of birth controls. All different kind of birth controls can affect your cycle very differently. Shane and I could be on the same birth control, and it can affect us very differently. So I think that is still amazing. 2 months? I know people that are still struggling for significantly longer than
Even
that.
the doctor said, oh, don't expect it, when I was just taking it out, before I was like, oh, no, we're not exactly trying right now.
Yeah.
He was
We're
like,
just kind of getting things in line.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, well, expect at least 6 months before you get pregnant.
There you go.
it didn't take that. It was, let's see, I got it removed in November, had a period in January, got pregnant in January.
Yeah.
Moved at the end of November, I should
But
say
with
that.
those hormones still being in your body, those eggs could
Yeah.
have been compromised.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Which honestly, I was worried from the day I found out I was pregnant.
I mean, I'm no doctor, but I
Yeah.
bet money on it.
I feel like there was something in you that just kind of knew.
Oh, for sure she knew. We talked about that on the way here a little
Like,
bit.
Yeah.
like
Everyone
because
thought I was
don't
crazy because
remember-
I was worried.
You were doubting.
I don't
and I was doubting it
remember
so
from
much.
any of the other pregnancies.
I was excited with both of them, like, instantly.
I remember like it was like tell everybody there was no, and I understand like the boys are younger, you didn't have to worry about having small children that didn't understand it, so that was on its own was a different level, but there was just something very hesitant. So I don't know. I think there's like a way
Part
like
of
our
me
body
had
like
a
protects
feeling that
ourselves.
It would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we went in for that ultrasound, I just kind of had a feeling. And
Yeah.
whenever she went in, and just having that feeling doesn't make the loss any easier like I was expecting
No,
it.
I don't think so.
Because whenever she went over and she goes, "Are you sure you're supposed to be 8 weeks?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, I'm looking for that flicker and I just don't see that flicker. And then of course I started crying. She goes, "Well, let me measure just to see, maybe it's just too early." And I was like, "There's no way it's too early."
Yeah.
So, and she measured and it was only 6 weeks and a few days, and that was that. We went to the hospital after that and they made an appointment and I went in
I'm glad
this past week.
he was able to be with you
Yeah.
for that initial visit.
Yeah. And unfortunately my body was not,
Disposing.
yeah. I'm like, how's it okay
Yeah.
word for this?
Releasing.
But yeah, my body wasn't doing what it was supposed to for a miscarriage, and they went ahead and did another ultrasound, and my body had already reabsorbed, basically reabsorbed what was the fetus. So they couldn't even find that in the newest ultrasound. So she goes, more than likely, yes, you've had a miscarriage. You could opt for the DNC, which is the procedure which was very hard for me to be okay with, because to me a DNC it's literally an abortion. And to me that was harder for me to
Wrap your head
Accept.
around.
So like you're making that choice.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though you got to make some, for your own health, you have to make some
Yes.
choice. Yeah.
Or I could use tablets that induce it. And whenever she did the ultrasound, there was just a sac. Nothing else in it. She goes, I can see a few things like floating around, but they're not 9-week ultrasound.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. She goes, you could be less further. I was like, there's no way I'm not further along. I was like, there's absolutely no way. Because I found out January 27th.
Yeah.
Right, and even then, for it to show up on a test, you had to be at least a couple of weeks for it
Yeah.
for it to all trickle down.
So she was more than likely, yes, you've had a miscarriage. You could do the DNC. I was like, well, how long would that take? She was, well, you'd have to leave. I'd have to schedule it with a couple doctors, anesthesiologists and all that, and then I'd call you. I was like, okay, that would take a few days. Then she goes, yes. I was like, I just want to be done with this. It is what it is. There's nothing I can change this miscarriage. I just want it to be over with. She goes, or I can give you these tablets to use. It basically induces labor. You can use them, not take them. You can use them on your own time, but it's going to hurt for a couple days. She wasn't lying, because that's the option I picked. It hurt like hell. And
Like a heavy period cramps kind of thing.
extreme cramps. Like,
Yeah.
not quite as bad as labor, but pretty up there cramps. And I have a high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
A lot of women do, I think.
And it hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So, to me, although I still induced it, it felt more of a natural way to let it go.
On your own time,
Yeah.
in your own home. You don't have to.
Deal with the hospital chaos. So that is the option I picked, which was still very hard for me. And now I basically have to deal with what you would deal with after birth.
Yeah.
All the same precautions. Can't take a bath. Can't use a freaking tampon, which I hate pads, guys. I hate pads.
I wonder if at the risk of sounding like blunt, but I wonder if that's like better, like because you induced, like it really flushed everything.
Oh yeah, that's what I
was
think
thinking
too.
And with like just the same risk as an abortion, like you could have scarring, and I was like, I don't want to chance that scarring to hurt my chances even more. Which even the doctor was like, well, it's very low chances. I was like, that's too low. That's too much chance for me still.
Yeah.
So that's why I opted for this. But the downside is when I go to my follow-up appointment this week, if everything did not come out, I have to have a DNC still.
Right.
Yeah.
God.
So hopefully everything's come out how it should. I've kind of ran this long, sorry guys.
That's
No,
okay.
this is, I feel like
It's
these are the
important.
things that people might not realize. Like, people just hear loss and they think that's it. But, like, sometimes these are the kind of things that you actually have to go through. These are choices that have to be made.
Yeah.
And there's not a good choice. They're all
No.
crappy.
And nobody's prepared for them because nobody talks about them or knows
Yes.
about them.
Yes. So, no, I just want to say, if there are any listeners out there that are going through something like this, that are mourning a loss because of this, feel free to reach out to us. You can email us if you don't feel comfortable writing in on the comments. You can email us at 3sistersoneheart podcast@gmail.com, and either we can be there for you. I know that there is a lack of support out there for a lot of women. And husbands too, but a lot of women. So if you feel like you need something and you just want to reach out to us, please do. We'll talk to you. Heather will talk to you. We'll help you find some support in your area if you need that as well. Because this is not something that is easy. It's not something you should have to go through alone.
And it's, make clear, it's not something that's uncommon either.
Right.
New statistics show that it's actually 1 in 3 women will have a miscarriage.
Yeah.
That's a huge number when you think about how many women are on this planet.
Yeah.
To be 1 in
There's more
3.
women than men.
And whenever we had our pregnancy orientation class for the hospital I go to, there was 10 other women in there.
So to think that
So I think there are at least 3 women
in your position.
in my position that, I mean, I hope nobody else was. Like,
Right.
like
Oh, God.
more than likely, at least, and unfortunately, I was one of the 3.
Yeah. It's not easy, and we definitely realize that not everybody has. We're pretty grateful in that we're all close
We have
and
good
that we have
support.
good support. But not everybody does. And online communities are really a blessing for those sort of things. I know that online communities get a lot of flack for bullying and negative and any kind of different things, but you can definitely use it for good too. So we're here.
Yes. So we will jump to Tiffany after that.
All right.
To her trial.
Okay, so my trial kind of rolls into what our topic is for this week. And it is that last week, or actually it was really the week before, my family got the flu. And it's kind of crazy because we are hardly ever sick. Hardly ever sick. My kids are hardly ever sick. About 2 years ago at Christmas, we got the flu, and it was pretty bad. But I feel like this time is worse. Maybe it's just because I've lived it more recently. But like I got the on Tuesday, I woke up and I just wasn't feeling great, and I had a headache. And I was like, I don't take medications for things. I don't even take an ibuprofen unless I'm like really feeling it, or like I'll take a Midol if it's like the heaviest day of my cramps. You know, that's it. I don't take much of anything. And it was bad enough I took an ibuprofen, and like I went to the gym, and I think this just exacerbated things because I didn't know what I was getting into. By the time the evening hit, it was bad. But like I went to the gym for an hour and did leg day, and then I went to yoga for 45 minutes, and I still had my headache for yoga, so I took another ibuprofen. And then I had to go into work, and I did work, and my headache dulled a little bit, but it never went away. It just like came back on stronger after a little, couple hours had passed. And then I had crochet club, and I went and did that, and then I was starting to get like a scratchy throat. And then we had to meet up to sort out the cruise. We had to like pay all our dividends and stuff in for our cruise. And when we went for that, I don't know if you guys remember, I was like sucking on cough drops and stuff, and I was just talking about how my throat was feeling sore. I had such a horrible headache, and I thought, man, I might not be able to go to work tomorrow. I have for 2 years worked for this family, and never one time, not once, not once called out.
Mm-hmm.
Not once.
Yes.
And so the next morning, I woke up and I felt like I was hit by a train. And I was like, I'm going to have to call in. I can't believe this. I'm going to have to call in. So which I just texted, and I was like, I'm not feeling good today. I'm so sorry. I think it's probably better if I don't go. The kids were already not feeling very good a day or so before, and I thought, oh, they just have a cold. Annika was running a little bit of a temperature, so she stayed home. Fever, sorry.
Everyone has a temperature.
Thank God. Thank God she was running a temperature. But so she was ended up staying home on that Wednesday as well. And I was miserable. I slept. The people I nanny for, the mom, of course, she's got small children, so she's like always just very concerned and worried, as she should be, about them catching things because they're so little. And the next day, I was still in denial, man. I woke up that morning and was like, I'm kind of feeling better. I think I can work. And she's like, tell me what your symptoms are. And I went through, I was like, well, I've had a headache that's constant. I'm getting a sore throat, and I just feel really dizzy and weak. And I was like, but I think I'll be okay. Just maybe I won't like go for our walk. And she's like, you sound like you have the flu, and I appreciate you, but don't come to work. Yeah.
Which is funny. You said that was Wednesday?
That was Wednesday.
My son, Matthew, my oldest, said he had a little bit of a headache Friday morning. I was like, oh, you'll be fine. You're just trying to get out of school. I was like, you go to Dad's today. He'll pick you up from school. Send him to school. 9 o'clock. He's only been there an hour. The school calls. Hey, you know, it's really not like Matthew to be fake and sick. He said he's got a really bad headache. He doesn't have fever or anything. Yeah. I was like, okay. Well, if the school's calling, something's up, because he's terrible at faking it.
Yeah.
That's why that morning, he looked okay. He did say he had a headache. I was like, oh, you'll be fine.
Right.
Well, I was like, okay, I'm just going to take him into care spot just to rule out the flu. No, it confirmed the flu.
Yeah.
Well, all his symptoms, the coughing, the sore throat, and the headache, all her same symptoms.
We all got it, pretty much. I don't know how you guys managed to miss it. You're fortunate.
It pays to be a
Jack
hermit.
got it as
Oh
well.
my God.
And I'll say Jack got it as well. I haven't got it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going through enough shit. I'm glad I didn't get it.
Nova started off, but like she's pushed through pretty good. Plus, I think because I overdid it on Tuesday, I just really started off on a crappy like foot, you know?
Yeah.
But like Nova kind of started to get it, then Annika started to get it, and Annika is a little bit more wimpy than Nova, and she's like, oh, it doesn't feel good.
We don't need to talk about wimpy and colds right now, alright?
So then I got it. Next thing you know, Matt has it, and then like a day or so later, Jack has it, and we didn't go into the doctor because I checked with Heather, and I was like, okay, what did they say? And she's like, just let it run its course. It's too late to really take
he had
anything.
already been coughing for a couple days. I'm like, it's just a little cold.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna truck on through. That Wednesday, after I called out, I went back to sleep, and I slept until I woke up at like 6:30 in the morning.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right, but I woke up at 11 o'clock, and I was covered in sweat. It was so like
That's the worst.
puddle.
That's
It
the
was
worst thing
so
about having any colds is the
disgusting.
sweat.
The cold sweats too, because
Yes.
like I was so cold, but I was so hot.
That's the
It
thing.
was so nasty.
So Bobby got sick as well,
Oh,
but he didn't test positive for the flu. He just had a cold.
that's fortunate.
The man cold.
You guys, the man cold is real, okay? Don't get me started. He sweats very bad at night regardless. And so I went, because I was hurting, and I curled up in bed the other day. And this is before I went to the doctor's to confirm it. I was just having cramps just because my body wanted to have cramps.
Yeah.
And I pulled the covers over and brought them up to my face just to curl up. I was like, oh my God. I was like,
Ew.
oh, they smell awful. I was like,
the
we need,
boys?
no, our bed stuff.
Oh God.
His side, because I wrapped it all up on me.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh,
like,
God.
oh no. And I threw his side off me, just like wrapped up my side because I was cold. And I was like, we need new bed sheets or new bed set.
Burn it.
Like
There
there's,
was no
I don't.
washing it.
His side was okay. His side of the sheets were darker, which kind of common. Guys sweat oily and oil.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, whatever. And then I realized the stench.
Oh
and I was
my
like,
God, dude.
I don't think there's anything I can do to save this.
That's terrible.
And so I went to Walmart and bought a new bed set.
It's cute. I saw it.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit girly, and I put it on the bed. He was like, the sheets are pink. I was like,
So.
what's your point? You're never home.
Oh.
He was like, fair enough.
I used
And
to
he got into bed. He was like, "Oh, these are comfy." I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh, I
yeah.
know."
I used to be like real particular like what I would buy. Like I didn't want it to be too girly or anything like that. And one day Ben's like, I don't care.
I'm
Yeah.
just sleeping.
Like I just need a blanket.
Yeah.
Fine.
Chris, it depends on. He's a Scorpio, so it depends on his.
He has a
mood.
little more of an opinion
It
about it.
depends. Some days he'll be like, yeah, I don't really care, and then some days he might be like, oh, well, maybe I would have wanted to help with that, and I'll be like,
Oh
really,
no,
though?
no!
Really?
Before I even like got in here, he's like, "Get whatever you want." I'm like, "You can't be mad when I come home with pink, then, because
So
I was gonna come home with flowers." Just saying.
So with the whole flu thing, haven't been sick in ages.
Mm-hmm.
I was out for like 6 days. I didn't go to work. I only work part-time, so I didn't go to work Wednesday. I didn't go to work Thursday, and I'm usually off on Fridays. I was miserable all the way through the weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm watching TV, but like I can't watch anything that good because I can't focus enough on it.
Oh.
I'm literally stuck laying in bed because I'm dizzy and
Just
weak.
waiting on death.
My muscles, every inch of me
Yep.
was
That's what made me think you had the flu as well. You said your whole body hurt.
The whole thing. Like, I even had Chris at one point give me like a little massage because I thought I hurt so bad. And
It
he
hurt
was
to be
massaging me
touched.
and I was like, oh God, this isn't really helping. And usually it would, like, because I'm used to getting like sore muscles from working out and stuff, but like this was
A
different.
whole different, like deeper and from the
Oh
inside
my
out kind of thing.
God, it was so horrible, and I felt like the biggest baby, and like I kept wanting to be like, snap out of it, you know, but I could not snap out of it. It wasn't until I was getting nervous too because it wasn't until Sunday. I laid around even Sunday morning, and I was like, okay, my headache is finally subsiding, and I was like, this shit has to go, or I'm not going to make it through work, you know, come
Next
Monday.
week.
So basically, last week I spent like the first part of really all week, because the whole week almost, just like getting back into the swing of things. Like, I didn't work out on Monday or Tuesday because it was like, you know, I've done this in the past where it's like, no, you're fine, and then you go and you just set yourself
You're hurting
back.
your body more.
Yeah.
You set yourself back, yeah. So even though and that's another thing, if you're an active person and you are literally confined to your bed for 6 days, I was mentally just feeling so like antsy. I was so antsy, but like I couldn't physically do anything.
Yeah.
But my brain was like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? Why are you laying around?
You're like,
It was
because I can't
awful.
move. That's why.
So I think it was Thursday, and this is kind of interesting. Okay, so my family doesn't get colds often. We don't take much medications. Honestly, if you come to my house and you look at my medicine cabinet, take
Do
a
you have Tylenol in your house?
I have ibuprofen.
I didn't know that you had a medicine
I didn't
cabinet.
think
Yeah,
you did either.
But you know, take a medicine at your own risk because that crap might be expired. It might have been in there for 5 years. You know, I think we have some knockoff Claritin too because Annika she gets
That's
bad
what the doctor
allergies sometimes.
suggested for Matthew as well, because he's a lot of like cold stuff, like congestion and all that.
Yeah.
She suggested Zyrtec
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
once a day for his as well.
I usually, if we get a little bit of a touch of a cold or something, we don't get really like sick. Echinacea tea, that is my go-to. If anyone's like, we're feeling sick, my throat hurts, echinacea tea. Did you get some echinacea tea with some lemon? That's how I started with this flu. I started with echinacea tea and lemon. And then I was taking natural cough drops and lozenges. And then I moved to natural cough syrup with elderberry in it. And come Thursday, I think I messaged you guys and I was like, that's it, I'm going to Publix. It's time to bring out the hard stuff. And Heather was like, whoa, it must be serious.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need the NyQuil, I need the DayQuil, I need all the quills they got. I just want to sleep through the rest of this. It
Yeah.
was so awful.
I think that's definitely somewhere where we differ because like you like try to wait it carefully.
Wait
Every
it
time
out.
you look
I'm
over,
so
you're
sorry.
pushing yourself out of the
I'm
view.
so sorry.
I don't waste any time for meds. Like
Yeah.
somebody gets sick, Ben's like, go to the pharmacy. The pharmacy. The one that you have to get over the counter because people try to make drugs with it. That one. I want that
Oh.
Sudafed.
Really?
Yeah, I guess.
Sudafed? I don't know.
Yeah.
Bobby gets Sudafed as well.
Because we don't use
But he's
stuff
always sick.
often.
Not
I
the-
never know what to get. Literally,
Yeah.
I'm looking at all the medicines and I'm like, there's like 10 NyQuils now. Has there always been 10 NyQuils? I feel like there was like one when we were a kid. Like, which one do I get?
You don't cheap out on medicine.
Get the expensive brand. It's expensive for a reason.
It helped. I got NyQuil. I got a Mucinex because the girls did have a little stuffiness with theirs. I had a little stuffiness, but it was more like, you know, when it's like you lay on this side and then all of a sudden this nostril is clogged.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
you switch to the other side and all of a sudden this nostril is clogged. And it just feels like sinus headache back and forth behind your like eyeballs.
Yeah.
I had that. But they seemed that like that helped them, and it was like a Mucinex that covered all the bases, like all the flu symptoms.
Yeah.
And then Dayquil, and then I was still taking that elderberry syrup at nighttime because it also had melatonin in it. Because even though like I went from like all I wanted to do was sleep, and all I like that's what my body was asking for. From that to like then I couldn't sleep at all, even though I really wanted to sleep. So that really helped a lot too. But like, yeah, I had to pull out the big guns a little bit. It was crazy.
Yeah, I probably should. I mean, we have vitamins, we have things that I never keep up with.
Oh yeah, I'm not good about
I
those
try
either.
really hard, but I'm a sucker. Like if my kids are sick, like you're automatically ibuprofen, Motrin, or no, ibuprofen, aspirin, like alternating, like whatever I have to do to knock it out quick as
Oh,
can
I'm
be.
so not good.
I try and let them like make sure it's just something. Like if it's just a little cough, okay, you can wait a day or two. If it's not
Yeah.
going away, if you need to go to the doctor, we'll go to the doctor. But if it's just a cough, I'll give you some cough medicine. If it's persistent, we'll go to the doctor.
I will say though, I think that I'm that way because my kids, they don't typically just get a little bit sick.
They get something yucky.
They're 0 to 100.
yeah.
It's either strep or the flu or something. There's always some sort of medication needed. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
let's just go right now and get this taken care of.
When I have abnormally large tonsils. So when I was a kid, if I get sick, it was almost always strep. And that's kind of funny. Like, okay, so when we were little, what I remember when we were sick, we got ibuprofen or Tylenol, depending on our age. And then always broth, right? I remember just drinking broth, and like chicken broth from a can, heated up in the microwave, like, oh, you're sick, you need to eat something, here's your broth.
Yeah.
And I cannot stand broth
To this
to
day.
this day. I'm like, you better throw me some vegetables or some rice or some noodle or something in that broth. Like, oh my God. And then Gatorades.
I love me some Gatorades
cannot
still.
stand Gatorades.
Those
I don't
are
want a
my
Gatorade. I don't want
go-to.
a Powerade.
No.
I can't drink
I don't want
Gatorade
none
anymore
of
because
those.
remember I used to get strep so often that finally I think I was 17. I'm pretty
Seriously,
sure.
y'all got it at younger ages, and I got to deal with
Isn't
it as an
that
adult.
weird? I know you
Yeah.
have it now all the
I
time.
get it literally. I've had it 3 times this year, I think.
Every time you get it, I think, oh God, please don't let me get it. But I haven't. I haven't gotten
No,
it.
I get it stupid easily. If I have the common cold, I'm getting strep.
That's how I was until I took out my tonsils.
Yeah, I'm a
And
little
then-
afraid. They say as you get older, the surgery is a lot
you
harder
remember?
on you.
It has to
Yeah,
be.
I know. You got strep and then mono, and then
Yeah, it
you
was
were
bad.
just dead for a
Oh
year.
shit, you had mono too? I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
That's why it was so
She was
bad.
like, you don't remember her weighing like 90 pounds?
Yeah?
It was gross.
That's because she had mono and strep.
Oh my God, dude. No, I forgot that you had mono. I knew you
No,
were
but
sick.
Gatorade, I don't drink Gatorade anymore because it wasn't a year. It was actually closer to a couple of months. But like I literally,
like
I was in so much pain. Like I had my tonsils removed because I had mono. Well, because I had strep, and then I got mono, and they were infected so much that they couldn't. The swelling couldn't go down. It was disgusting. So they did the surgery, and then they got infected, or the incision site got infected.
Yeah, I remember that.
That there was. It wasn't Vicodin. What was it called? Either way,
Codeine?
some sort of pain med. It was
Codeine, Codone,
No, it wasn't that.
Percocet.
I had that
I want
after
to
my
say it was an
C-section.
L. I don't know where I'm coming with
I don't know
this.
any that are
Huh.
starts with L's.
Either way, it was some sort
Maybe
of
which
pain management, whatever.
Loratab?
Loratab.
Ah, there you go.
But it was liquid, and I literally I would sit up in bed, chug some Loratab
Oh,
out of the
God.
bottle
Oh my God.
because I was so miserable.
Yeah.
Chug some Gatorade, and go back to sleep for like 3 months.
Which is
That
why
was my
she
life.
weighed 90 pounds.
I couldn't do anything. But that's why I messed up my teeth, because obviously I wasn't getting up and brushing my teeth like I should be.
Yeah.
And Gatorades have a lot of sugar. I mean, a lot of good stuff too. But still, anytime, like,
Ugh.
I know that there's a lot of good stuff in Gatorade, but it has such, like, negative connotations to me. Like,
same.
I can't drink it.
It's like spaghetti squash when I was pregnant. I can't eat spaghetti
Ooh.
squash. I still can't. Every
Love
once in a while I
spaghetti
see it and I
squash.
think, I'm going to eat some of that. And then I'm like, I smell it. It doesn't even have a
Can't do
smell
it.
hardly.
It's okay.
No, can't do it still.
I have just now been able to get back to drinking coffee because when I was pregnant,
Oh, yeah.
coffee made me super nauseous.
Mhm.
And it just started tasting terrible to me. And when I realized I could drink it again, I might have gone a little overboard.
I've never in my life not been able to drink coffee.
I'll say when I had the flu.
I had to switch to my pink drinks.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
those started tasting bad, so I had to switch
Oh,
to something
God.
else. And then
when I had
it's
the
been rough.
flu, you know how much I love coffee. Like I found myself, I would make a cup, I drink half, and then that's all I could handle.
Yeah.
And then I would be so mad because I love it. What
Like,
is
this is
going
something
on?
that brings me joy.
How am I only being able to drink half a cup of coffee?
I was
can't
mad
even have my
because
coffee.
I got up before work one morning and I took like 4 sips and I was like, ugh. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
No. This isn't ooh. You're gonna like this. And I tried and I drank about probably a quarter of it and I just dumped the rest. I was like, I can't do it.
You know what was really?
And I was angry because it was a chai latte, so it was like
Oh,
$6.
yeah.
It's like I wasted $6.
You know what was really sweet when I was sick? The people I nanny for, they're especially the husband, or the father of the husband, whatever you want to call him. He is kind of a health nut, kind of weirdo like me too, and he makes this stuff called fire cider, and it's literally
Sounds dangerous.
it's intense. Basically, it's like immunity booster, but it's all natural, and you like ferment
Can he
it.
make some for my husband?
I have some. Does he want some? That's what I'm getting at. So like he makes it and he ferments it in the fridge for like for like a month or something. And
Ew.
it's like, dude, it's like
Is
ginger.
it like moonshine?
No, it's like
You're
it's
letting
like
it
Fireball,
ferment?
but you don't get the
Oh,
boozy side
God.
effect. It's like horseradish and ginger and turmeric
Ugh.
and like cayenne
Basically, you
pepper
gotta
and-
choke it down.
and apple cider vinegar. You take it like a shot. And so they were so sweet. I mean, she felt so bad that she dropped off to the house a thing of the fire cider because they just finished a batch, and then attached a Starbucks gift card to it. And I was like,
Aw.
I can't even drink coffee.
Aw.
And I could not touch that fire cider. I was like, cannot. I know my throat was like so sore. I still haven't taken it. I gotta take some tonight. It is intense.
Ugh, more power to you. I think it's awesome that people are able to find like natural remedies and stay away from like the chemicals and things like that.
So speaking of
But it's
chemicals,
like a beautiful in the stay in your lane on your
Oh
side.
well, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. when I realized I needed something harder, you better believe I'm ready to pull out the big guns.
Yeah.
Like,
so what do y'all
Ugh.
do as far as like disinfecting after everyone else has gotten sick?
I am only okay-ish about disinfecting.
forgot about
I
Clorox
bleached
wipes.
the shit out of my house.
I Clorox wipes with.
I went
Clorox
out.
wipes.
I even
Actually,
got a
Nova is
Swiffer
the
with
one
the
who Cloroxes
with
it.
the
On
Mr. Clean
Christmas,
kind.
Remember, was it Christmas that
Matthew was
Aubriana
sick.
got the flu?
No, Matthew was sick, and we debated on whether bringing him or
Right,
not.
but it was
But
right
then
after that Aubriana got
Yes.
the flu. Yeah, because it was New
Yes.
Year's.
Yes.
Ben, she would cough, and Ben would literally like spray Lysol at her, and I'm
In
like,
the air.
stop it! He's like, well, she's got to be disinfected. And I'm like, that's not how it works.
Oh
no,
my
I mean,
God.
I totally like. I Cloroxed my whole house. Like,
Yeah,
it
we
was-
like bleach.
and then like
bleach
2 days
wipes
later,
and
my
things,
house was
but
a disaster, and it was very sad.
I'm not super good at doing that kind of stuff. I'm good at.
Oh,
you know
no.
what I'm good at.
I did not
washing
want to
my
touch it
hands.
because I knew it would turn into strep. I'd
True.
have the flu and strep
True,
at the
true,
same
true, true.
time. No.
I'm good about washing my hands and getting on the kids about washing their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went back to work, because I was nervous, like that she would still
Yeah.
think that which I was fine. I wasn't even contagious anymore. Like the baby had a doctor's appointment on Tuesday, and she asked the pediatrician because she was still nervous. And the doctor's like, if all she has is the little bit of cough, that's the last thing to go. It hangs on. She's fine. You're fine. Don't worry about the kids. But like, I brought a brand new Purell, and I was like, I promise.
Wait,
I'll
you found
Purell
some?
every 2 seconds.
I'm surprised you found some.
When
Yeah.
I went to Publix, they were out of Lysol wipes. I had to buy some different brand of wipes because the main brands were gone.
Yeah.
And I know that's because of coronavirus. How do you guys
Coronavirus.
feel about that?
I feel like I should be worried, but I'm really not.
Yeah.
there,
That's
I
what's
realize
stressing
I
about
realize
it.
it's a
Yeah.
big thing, and,
Right.
and stressing about it's not going to do anything. But the population that it's affecting is not children.
I know.
It's the
It's the
elderly who are immunocompromised.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and
Which
of
makes me worry
course-
because mommy's immunocompromised. But
Yeah.
mommy's
Not
super
spread
good
anything.
about washing your hands and.
Mhm.
But basically, what they say for it is wash your hands all the time.
Mhm.
Don't touch your face because that's how you get it. Because if you touch something and then touch your face, which I'm very bad about touching
I know,
my
me
face.
too. I'm
Yeah.
like practically touching my face right
No,
now.
I'll sit here like all the time. I sit here with my hand on my face.
I'm not big on my face. I don't like people touching my face anyway.
Mhm. That's good.
And then just good health regimens basically,
It's just
and to
You know
not
what's
put
kinda creepy,
yourself in
though?
crowded, confined situations
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
cruise.
Yes.
Like,
Hey.
Still doing it. It's
signs-
paid
I'll be
for.
fine by then.
there's
Yeah.
signs all over work about like this is how you wash your hands. Like, why are we just now doing
Yes.
that?
I'm more concerned about why are we out of hand soap everywhere? Has everybody not been doing this?
Right.
Yeah,
Why is this a new trend?
it's crazy to me. Like, I get it. I think, without sounding like a conspiracy theorist or
Oh,
anything
no.
like that, the media makes everything a lot bigger than
Absolutely
it
agree with
is.
that.
So I try to just take the because there is a part of me that's very nervous about it. I've had many health issues, growing up. That
Yeah. You're right.
I feel like if I were exposed, like I was telling Ben this morning, like if anybody in our family is gonna get it, it's gonna be me.
Mhm.
I'm not really worried about the kids. Like obviously, I'll push them to wash their hands, things like that. But if anyone's gonna get it, it's gonna be me.
So far, there's not been a single case in our county.
There is in Jacksonville.
That's not our county.
Hey, I work in Jacksonville.
Well, you better keep
Wash,
it up
wash,
there.
wash.
Yeah, that's why we
Listen,
wash our hands.
you can go on Amazon and you can get special cutesy
No,
face masks with
the
like
face masks
bare
put
face.
more harm to you. You're
Oh.
touching your face.
Yeah.
Not much.
And the virus is so small, it can get through a face mask. There's no point in
You
wearing
gotta
a face
get one
mask.
of them ones with the little carbon filters I've
Oh,
been
God.
seeing.
No.
You look like
You
Darth
know
Vader and
The
stuff.
only reason you would
I'm
need to
just
wear
playing.
that is if you actually had it.
Well,
You're fine.
right.
You'll be
But
fine.
there are people like just be responsible. Like if you're
Mhm.
sick, stay home.
Yes.
It's not that difficult. There's people like they'll come to work wearing masks. They're like, "Oh, well, I'm sick, but I'm wearing a mask." Like if you need to wear a mask,
then you're
You
too
should be
sick.
at
you
home.
need to be at home. Like
Right.
we're on a floor of like 400 people. Like I might be exaggerating. There's a
It's
lot
a
of
lot of
freaking people. I mean, it's a typical corporate
I
cubicle.
think people are
setup.
afraid like that. For instance, like for me, part of something that makes me is that I am very loyal, and so like knowing that I had missed 0 work, and now it's like crap. I not
Yeah.
only am I
Can't say
missing
zero
work, but
anymore.
I'm calling out last minute. You
Mhm.
know that I felt horrible guilt and pressure. Like I need to be there. I need to be there. Like. They didn't expect this, and I bet, like, in corporate jobs, it's probably even, like, I'm just a nanny.
Yeah,
You
there
know, like,
is.
in corporate jobs, I bet it's even more pressure. Like,
So,
people have
we
deadlines
I don't
and
know
stuff.
what I mean. Factory work, I guess technically that's what I do.
Yeah, I would say
I tried going into work.
Yeah,
I was
I'm not
sent home
surprised.
because both my kids had the flu.
Mm-hmm.
They were fine by then, but I tried to go into work, and because of finding out about my miscarriage and everything else, mom's my boss. So I walked in. She looked at me. She goes, "Why are you here?" I was like, "I gotta work." She goes, "No one expects you here. Go home." I was like,
Mhm.
"What?" She goes, "Go disinfect your house. Go. You just with everything going on, just go home." I was like, "Okay."
Self-care. Gotta
Yeah.
do it.
So that was actually the day I was able to disinfect my house, because otherwise I would have been all up in my head, and that's not a good place to be when you're depressed.
You can come clean my house
No.
if you're looking to clean something.
I was not, because had I not cleaned, I'd just slept
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
Yeah.
I get
And that's kind of my go-to when my depression gets really bad, is just straight,
Sleeping through.
because I don't have to think, I don't have to
Mhm.
feel, and it goes all away.
I like to sleep, but I'm not a big sleeper. I don't like
I
When
am,
I
but
could sleep
you are
3
a big
days in a
sleeper.
row,
When my depression is flared up, that's absolutely it's a turn
that's my
out
go-to,
everything
is I
off.
want to
Really?
sleep, and you don't, because you don't feel it.
It's either that or laying in bed scrolling through Facebook, and I don't
Yes.
even know really what I'm looking
Yes.
at.
zoning.
But it's enough that I'm focused on.
I will
something
literally,
other than
like,
my thoughts.
I laid in bed at one point, it was just,
Mm-hmm. And
And
you're like,
I'd
what
get
did
through,
I even
like-
just read?
You're like,
yes,
detached.
I'd get through, like, a sentence, I'm like, what's this talking about? Oh,
Mhm.
whatever. And
I'll
just
say
keep
that
scrolling.
I feel like I don't usually scroll a lot, I don't really Facebook ever, but I have, when I was sick, because I was having a hard time focusing on TV, I did find I was scrolling online. That's the thing. Disinfect your phones, people.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
Yes.
I don't know what the actual numbers are, but there's
more
a
phones
study.
on this than your toilet seat.
Yes,
Yeah, I had
More
to-
phones, more germs, sorry.
That was the first thing I disinfected before I went back to work, knowing that those kids are just drawn to, it's like, you know, pirate treasure or something to them. Like, they are drawn to cell phones. And that was the first thing I'm like, I have to disinfect this phone case, the whole shebang-a-lang, because they're going to try to grab at it. They're going to try to get to any phone. You, like, put that sucker down and a kid finds it. They're like, it's like a magnet. So, yeah, you gotta clean your phones. I don't think people think about that. Plus, like, I'm laying in bed, I can't focus on TV, my head feels like 100 pounds, and I was doing the same thing through Instagram. Ugh, just blindly, like, scrolling through, because you feel, there's nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? Ugh. So, yeah, gotta disinfect those phones.
So really, at the end of the day, just wash your hands, people.
Just wash your hands.
Wash your
Disinfect
hands,
your stuff.
sneeze and cough to
Yes.
your elbow, not your hands, to your elbow.
Your
Yes.
fossa.
Don't let the world scare you into canceling all. I know people that are like canceling trips to Paris.
Hey,
like
oh,
once in a
wow.
lifetime
On the bright
things.
side, this cruise might not be crowded.
It's true.
And
Oh look,
we
I
might
just said
get
I don't touch my
discounts.
face.
Yeah, and I've been touching my
It's
face.
because
yeah.
we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we are a cruise. We have set dates for our cruise, so you will probably get a nice big catch up, but not see us for maybe a week or so. But it's not until April, so we have some time. I'm not really worried yet. I did see a post about them docking or having a ship that they weren't letting dock because they did have cases.
2 crew member. Oh no, you're talking about the
There's like 26 people.
Yes.
Honestly, you want to quarantine me? Let's go.
Feed me.
The only issue I have with that is
Let me
my
throw a
kids are
movie
going
on,
to my
quarantine
ex
me.
while we
Oh,
go on
sorry,
the cruise,
can't.
so
I'm
I won't be able to
quarantined.
see
Yes,
them, which
that's
sucks.
Oh,
different.
that is sucky.
So
Mine-
that's what I'm terrified if we get quarantined, because that's like 2-3 weeks of missing out on my kids.
You
Yeah.
want to pay to take care of me? So
And my ex will never let me live that down.
yeah, you're right.
I
He
can't
doesn't
live
let you
anything,
live anything down,
So.
yeah.
Even something that far out of your control?
Yeah.
Which
Are you
yeah.
kidding me? I was nice and didn't bump his weekend one time because it was Mother's Day. I was like, look, I don't want to mess up my schedule. Or not my schedule. It was our schedule. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with I get 2 weekends. Just go ahead. We'll do the regular. Oh, you didn't even want to spend Mother's Day with them. I was like,
I spend every day with
What?
them. Who cares? It's a freaking
like,
Hallmark
dude.
holiday.
it's just a weekend, and they don't understand. They're little.
Yeah.
Heck, if I want a Mother's Day and I want Mother's Day to go sit at the freaking nail salon, that's my Mother's Day. It was a Sunday. I got them that day still.
Yeah. Mine still, they're like, oh yeah, it's Mother's Day today. Let me, like, half-ass make you some breakfast. I'm like, I don't even first eat,
Oh.
I eat, like, oatmeal for breakfast. Like,
I
don't-
made my household
like,
breakfast this morning. You want to know what I made?
What?
Captain Crunch. No,
Oh,
no,
alright.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
All
did
right,
it.
even better.
This
Captain Crunch
weekend,
is scratchy.
or this past week, the girls had Terra Nova testing, which is
Oh.
it's basically the private school version of FCAT.
Yeah.
They're
Oh.
standardized testing.
They've had them before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's unfamiliar.
But like I was good. I got up and I made eggs one morning, and then
Oh,
I
that
made
is
muffins
good.
another morning,
Oh,
and I was
dang.
like, I'm like on. Don't be too impressed. They were like literally like add some water and
Whatever.
but they were cooked and they were happy. But yeah, I was
Mine are at an age
I
where
was
can't
proud of
really
myself
feed
because
them
little things like that
early
are
in the
hard to
morning.
me.
Yeah. That's
So like
impressive.
little tangible things, like oh look, you're not a piece of crap human.
Do you make their lunches or do they make their own?
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes
mine
I'll
eat at
throw
school.
everything in a pile.
That's
They'll throw it
awesome.
in there. We don't have that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
They
Annika will sometimes eat a little bit at school, but they'll
I realized that
14,
week
almost
I had them
15-year-old,
for
she,
you.
like,
I
doesn't
didn't give
eat.
them anything for lunch. I was like, oh my god! Like by the last day, I was like,
That's why they come home
was I
ravenous.
supposed to eat feed them?
No, I've
Shit.
tried.
you gotta feed them.
Like I fed them dinners.
They're fine.
I just didn't think
They're
to
fine.
give them lunches.
No, I've tried. I've tried. Like you need to eat breakfast. Like you need to take a lunch. Like you can make a sandwich and go to lunch. Annika's like, how come you don't make us a lunch? And I was like, I feel like I
you're
have in
grown
the
enough
past.
to.
And then she's like, no, not really. And I'm like, you can make your lunch the night before.
Yeah.
Like that's lazy. You're just lazy. I'm sorry. But
Yeah, you're plain
at
old.
12 and 14,
You can make your own
your own lunch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
They
sure
won't
at
eat
like
it
8 we
anyways.
were making our own lunches
Yeah,
if
and
we
I
needed
That's
to.
it.
Mine are totally capable, and they will. If I do it, it's because I'm a control freak and they're taking too long, and I'm trying
Like,
to
let's
push
go,
the
let's
morning
go.
along.
Yeah.
But if I wake them up in a reasonable time
Half
that we
the
have
time,
or whatever, they do it.
mine don't eat breakfast. I'm like, are you hungry? Like, you literally grab something. Grab a granola
Oh
bar.
no! How about
No,
I'll
they don't
give
eat
my
nothing till
breakfast
they
and
come
then
home
they
and they're
don't eat it,
starving.
and I'm like, don't complain to me that
Oh,
you're
yeah.
hungry and not eat the freaking breakfast.
Every time they come to my house, they're starving, and like,
and then
I
they
give them
eat
something
like
and
3 bites.
that's it.
And that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, no, if you're hungry, you're gonna eat and you can eat at school.
And
I'm
you
tired of
used
wasting
to-
food.
You used to would send them with like little bags of cereal.
Because I
and,
knew they wouldn't freaking eat.
But that's what I'm saying. I would have little bags of cereal all over the damn place because
Yeah, you at one point you're like, stop sending cereal. We have enough here.
listen, they have like 4 different types of cereals to choose from here. Okay, like they're
And
good.
there's plenty of each.
They just want to know what you got. I think you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to give them protein shakes in the morning. So
Yeah, that's good.
they don't drink them. They'll drink about a quarter of it. I'm like, you need to gain weight. Drink this,
Yeah.
please. Nope.
I feel ya.
Nope. I'm
Maybe
like,
we can
guys.
make like protein muffins or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or like make it brownies.
All
I've
right,
seen
now that
protein
we've gotten
brownies.
long
Sorry,
winded,
Sorry.
off topic.
triumphs for the week.
All right. So after I found out I miscarried, that was on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had a mental breakdown that Monday and was angry, was upset. Decided I need to get out of the house. I drove to a tattoo shop.
Woo!
It was
Jealous.
just like GPS. It just took you there.
It's just
And
like find me tattoo
I,
parlor.
I just needed it, and I was like, well, I need to trade one pain for another, otherwise I'm going to drink myself into oblivion, and I literally haven't drank since finding out I had a miscarriage.
That's amazing.
Because
Because that
I
might
was-
be one of the first things I would do.
I wanted to. Went to the ER after we went to the
Wasted a glass of
ultrasound
wine.
place, and the guy was like, oh, do you drink? I said, I probably will tonight. He goes, no one would blame you.
Aww.
No, that's the one thing about, I was very shocked because it is a military hospital. I figured them to be
Yeah.
like, oh, whatever, you're fine.
Cut dry.
They were so caring, and
Yeah?
it really threw me off.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And then
Yeah, that's awesome.
the doctor I saw last Thursday, she was super nice, super caring, and super just understanding. She said, look, this is okay. It's not your fault. Now I'm not so worried for when I am having a healthy pregnancy, because they will tell you I was dreading having to go to the that hospital for the birth.
Yeah.
They're amazing, and I'm
That's
very
great.
surprised.
Good.
It's
Yeah,
nice
I'm
to be
so
proven
glad.
wrong in those
Yes.
ways.
But after this was before I saw the doctor, and basically she was like, here, take these or use these to induce it all. Yeah, Monday I went and got a tattoo, and it's healing.
I was wondering where you got it.
I know Mom was too. It's healing.
I didn't even.
It's bad.
Ow!
So
it
it
looks
is
like it would hurt to get right there.
I actually
was it
just
more painful
got a
than the
scab
other?
off of it.
Gross.
Ew.
No, I don't know if y'all can see it.
We'll
Like,
post a
yeah.
picture.
There you go.
We'll post a picture.
It just looks like a painful spot.
No. The artist that did it, her name is Ashley Wilson. She's with Sailor Shares Tattoos.
Love them.
Amazing shop.
I haven't been there.
She's
Surprisingly.
amazing at what she does, and we were just talking, and I expected it to hurt a lot because that spot, but I kind of wanted it to at the same time because
You wanted that pain.
I wanted the pain,
I
which,
get it.
as fucked up as that sounds,
Mm-mm.
it's
It's
how
like
I
a
kind of
release.
dealt with it.
Yeah.
Even she was surprised. She goes, "Are you sure you want it on your elbow?" I was like, "Yep."
Slap it on there.
It's like, yeah. She was like, "Okay." I'm not gonna put it so far up here. She did avoid the actual elbow.
That would have hurt.
But she said she left room in case I ever want to add anything to it.
Cool.
I was like, fine by me. I was doing it and I was expecting it to hurt a lot, and I realized she sprayed the numbing spray multiple times for me without asking anything.
Oh.
And she was like, well, I wanted to get really deep so the yellow stays, so I thought for your pleasure I would just... I was like,
That's cool.
well, that makes sense as to why I'm not in pain, but I kind of wanted the pain.
Aw.
I think in the end it's better. Than
It was. But it's healing and it'll probably look a lot better.
The detail looks. I mean,
Oh,
the
she
part
did
that you can see,
amazing.
the detail looks really good.
It was very nice.
It's
Yeah.
scabbed up and gross looking right now, but
I mean, it gets worse before it
Part
gets
of the
better.
process.
yes.
Yep.
I'll share a picture on our...
Yeah. When we post about this, I'm gonna try to get better at posting. My Instagram game is it's like this right now. But I'm gonna try to get back to. I'm keeping up all right with the Tasty Tuesdays. I've been forgetting the Thursdays sometimes. It's hit or
Yeah.
miss. But
Our
also
throwbacks?
Our throwbacks. I need more pictures. I'm running out of pictures.
Well, I
I
have a
never
whole
thought
lot to
that was
throw back on.
possible.
I think
Our pictures when we were little and stuff. I need to
I
get
know,
more
but we
from
didn't
Mom.
grow up in a time that it was take
Oh,
picture
that's
constantly.
true.
Not like in the way that the world is now.
That's true.
So it's not as readily available.
We need to dig a little deeper. We got more.
What's your
We gotta get
triumph
some
for the week?
embarrassing ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so my triumph is that I got to see a couple of my soul sisters this weekend from when we lived more Central Florida. We were part of a play group, and in that play group, I made some friends for life. And I got to see one of them got to come up with her girlfriend, and we got to spend some time. And literally, all we did was hang out and drink some we drank some pink drink that was like watermelon vodka
Yeah.
and Crystal Light.
The pink
And
drink is bomb, by
We
the
had
way.
some pink drink.
It's dangerous.
It's very
played some-
dangerous.
Played some video games and talked, and we watched a couple episodes of Toddlers and Tiaras. And
Oh,
felt
God, that's just
really good about our
terrible.
parenting. I know. Well, okay, so my friends, they're in roller derby.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so Squid, that's her roller derby name, but we all call her Squid. Squid has never seen Toddlers and Tiaras, and we're like, oh my god, how have you never seen that? And so we had to watch one, and Jackie picked one of the. Jackie is also hers is Haley's Vomit is her roller derby name. They
Interesting.
roll for the Ocala Cannibals, so if you guys are ever in Ocala, go check them out, see about, and cheer them on.
I'd like to do that one day. I think that would
It's
be a lot of
badass,
fun.
dude. They are some badass ladies. We should. It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Actually, they're about to start season soon, so they're gonna have some stuff coming up. And actually, they're gonna be playing. I forgot what they're called. Jacksonville has J somethings. I
Let's
can't
sign
remember
up and.
I'm not signing up
Oh,
to
yeah.
do it.
No,
They
no,
beat the
no,
shit
I
out
need
of
to go
each other.
see
See
it.
'em.
Not to come
I'm
on.
up for that.
I'm
Yeah.
not athletic.
No, but it's really cool, and it's like I don't know how they do it. I can't even on anything wheels aside
I
from a
cannot
bicycle.
roller skate. I can
Yeah.
rollerblade. I cannot roller
No,
skate.
these women they're badasses, and they practice and they put a lot of work in just to do these bouts. So anyhow, got to see them and spend time with them, and we don't see them as much as I'd like, especially not with Chris working weekends right now. So that was really, really nice, and last minute, I didn't even know until Friday I got hey, we're gonna be there in a couple hours. What are you up to?
Those are the best visits.
I was
though.
nice because I actually had time. I could do some things, you know. So it was a
Yeah.
good week. It was a good weekend. I wish I had one more day of weekend. But
Me too.
It was busy.
Mine, we've talked a good bit, like, am I going to stay? Am I going to go? What am I going to do? I'm very up in the air with my career. I don't really know how I feel. What is it I want to be doing? So I had some talks with some people, and, turns out that
Your job really likes you.
I'm more valued than I ever gave anybody credit for. So we had some really difficult conversations on where do I want to be, what is it that I like about what I'm doing, what don't I like. And turns out there were many opportunities that were coming up. And it was like, look, we could talk about these, we could talk about these. And in the end, I ended up with a promotion
Woo!
to
Awesome.
a project manager, which is what I'm in school for.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So you don't have to do school anymore.
I do have
Like,
to finish school.
I got this.
I mean, technically, I got the job. No, it's not with the stipulation that I finished school. But if I want to continue getting raises and such, yes, I do have to finish
Alright, yeah,
school.
you should probably finish it.
Plus, I'm literally less than a year out. Like, I
Alright.
gotta do it.
Just trying to make life easier.
Don't be a slacker. Gotta do it. But yeah, so I'm really excited. Working under some different people, so I think that'll alleviate a lot of stress that I was having.
And that's great.
Yeah. So, to kind of just found out there's some people out there looking out for me that I never really intended or even
Realized.
understood or realized. People know my name that I had no idea knew who I was. Which is really, really cool. It was an enlightening experience.
And empowering, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
'Cause you're doubting yourself a little bit.
Right, and that's a huge part of my depression is a whole lot of self-loathing and doubt and things like that. So, whenever I was put in a position where I felt like I wasn't being heard, it fit that script very well. So it was easy to go down that road. So to see things turn out 100% different than I ever could have possibly imagined has been really amazing. And I'm super grateful for the company that I work for and that they're willing to kind of help me grow into where I want to be.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited. I don't know. I don't know what's in store yet. I mean, obviously project management.
Big
I'm working on
things.
projects.
Nothing but up from here.
For everyone.
I have to make it
Big
through the
things
next
happening.
couple of weeks of training somebody in my position, which is really stressful and really frustrating. I mean, not even like talking bad about anybody. It's just, it's hard trying to make sure that you convey everything and make sure that your accounts and your customers stay happy. Especially considering I'm not going anywhere. So like if shit hits the fan, like I'm still there. So we'll see how it goes. But it's been a couple of fun weeks and hopefully it'll keep on.
More to come.
More to come.
Cool.
So that's about it. But we will talk to you guys next week.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop us a line. Say hello. Find us on Instagram. Find us on where else? Spotify, Facebook. 3 Sisters 1 Heart Podcast at gmail.com. 3 Sisters 1 Heart Podcast on Instagram. Pretty much 3 Sisters 1 Heart Podcast.
Just Google it.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.